be a progress in life. So let us see what happens. So you should all thank Anne. That is how we are organizing a meeting every week. Yeah, you should thank yourself also. So the last week we discussed that how mind creates a me world. There is a real world and there is a me world that causes suffering. We also understand what exactly is unhappiness, sorrow in our life. How do we know the suffering is not our nature? And the most important part that we discussed, how the suffering expresses different types of weaknesses. And these weaknesses are expressed in thought, speech, and action. Today, we continue to understand that why we live in this confusion, fear, insecurity in our life, and why self medication cannot help to find the true happiness. We find the solution in a wrong direction. Like this, as the so what is exactly is the goal? The goal is to bring an end to suffering in our life and awaken to our real nature. And that real nature is permanent peace, happiness, love. And what do you mean by permanent? Permanent peace and happiness. Permanent peace and happiness, we you are born as a man or a woman, you remain man and a woman. No, we can change. That's a different. At present, we have none of us have changed anything. Permanent means that peace and happiness when all the time. Where? Everywhere. In which condition? In all conditions. Just think of it that can I be into the state of peace, calmness, happiness? That is the goal. And that goal is within us. But still, we continue to live in confusion, in fear, in insecurity. So our mind do not think the way our masters are thinking. Every living being, from the ant to elephant, from tiger to deer or amoeba, no one wants suffering. And when the suffering comes, we want to get rid of it, including the human being. Everyone wants to get rid of it. So there is another way to reflect on it, why I want to get rid of the confusion, fear, insecurity, sorrow, and the suffering. Because it is foreign to me, because it is alien to me. Just think of it. It is alien to me. Whatever is foreign to us alien to us, that is not my nature, I want to get rid of it. You see that? COVID is an alien, is a foreign to the body. That's why we want a treatment. Please see that. We don't think in that way. So when we do not think in the way, then we start blaming the situation, the condition, the people, the places, the time, which belongs to the world outside, not to me. So, what happens when we do not think in this way? Then we say, my honey made me crazy, he makes me upset. But previously, he or she was a soulmate. But now, creating a problem. So there is something alien in my mind. It's a mental virus. Like the COVID virus is physical, it's a mental virus. So we find a self medication. What is self medication? Let me keep a distance. Self medication or treatment of suffering does not work. We are finding a solution in a wrong direction. Divorce, fight, reaction, anger, hesitation are the ways in the solutions that we find through our mind. It will not work. Blame, complain, reaction are the other solutions that we find. Why? Because we are living in the me world. And that suffering is the mental and emotional dependence. It cannot go by physical exercise, by taking pills, by objective means. Sometimes we say, you change, then I will be happy. So the mind continues the journey of expectations from the world outside. That is not going to change. Do you still remember the story? The husband returned home. He failed in procuring one contract. So he started talking to his wife that you see that we should embrace all failures with the calmness of the mind. Wife immediately hugged her husband. You are right. That's why I'm embracing you. Did you understand? Did you understand? Husband failed in a project. In order to keep calmness of the mind, he told her wife, honey, we should embrace failures to move forward. Wife hugged her husband immediately. Why she hugged? Because her mind was constantly thinking, I failed in this marriage, so let me embrace you. Me, it still has to understand. No problem, do not understand. It will come later. John, you got it? Come on. Are you sitting here in my session? Or is your mind somewhere? When we blame and complain others, the mind is constantly obsessed with reference to the world for success and failures. They do not feel that they are responsible for the success and the failure. So, whatever Masters teaches, whether we find success in any venture in the world or failure, that is the way the world works. So, husband failed in one project and he was talking to his wife that we should embrace all failures in our life. Why? To learn, to move ahead. But his wife already had lot of thoughts about failure in the marriage. She could not speak about it. So she hugged her husband. She embraced her husband. Her mind, sensing the failure in the marriage, she wanted to give a message to her husband. And that is why she hugged her husband. No, better do not understand. Better not. Better is that self medication does not work. What is the reason? Now understand what is the reason why this self medication, self treatment. I have lot of expectations. You have not met my expectation. That is why the problem is there. That is how we blame and complain and react. It is little not very difficult to understand. First thing to understand, I am unhappy with you, for example. Now I don't want to talk to you. So sense of unhappiness remains present in the mind. With that unhappiness, I find another person to be happy. I can never be happy. This is what the self medication is. For some time, I'll find, oh, you are very good. Huh? But after some time, that unhappiness in the form of expectation, blame, complaint will return to my mind. I will express it and I will not be happy. What is the goal? I have to remove unhappiness from my mind. Not with reference to any person, not with reference to any situation, not with reference to any condition. Take a simple example. You wake up in the morning and you say, bad morning. Oh, today is a very bad morning. How come the morning can be ever bad? Did the sun rise in the west for you? Did the sun give you less light? Problem is here. So we don't want to solve the problem in our mind. We want to solve our problem, which is inside me, through outer means, which is not at all possible. The more we do it, the more we suffer in our life. And that suffering includes confusion, conflict, fear, insecurity, lot of other stuff in our day to day. Why it is not? Why these kind of solutions not possible, not does not give me, do not help me to live in peace and happiness. Have you ever thought of it? The moment you think of it, the mind becomes clear, the delusion disappears. So, our master says that there is no objective solution of the subjective problem. What is subjective? I'm the subject, and object is outside. That is why, let me say, let me explain this. To have a big home is one thing, right? But to have a happy home is another. One is objective, the other is subjective. To have $127 billion in the bank account is one thing, but to have calmness, peace, and happiness with that wealth is totally another. Our greatest example, he lived loveless life for 27 years. This is what there is no objective solution to the subjective problem. Happiness, happy home comes from here. Home is always outside. You have more money, you can buy any number of homes, big or small home. To be married is one thing, but to have a happy marriage is another. To have a business is one thing, but to run a business with happiness is totally another. No, no, no. One guy yesterday was saying, I'm awfully busy, we will just leave me 5 minutes before. I said, that is why you are awful, because you are awfully busy. Does the world makes you busy? Or objective solution never you can never find of the subjective problems. Are you clear? When we are clear, so once we understand this, we need a common sense. I'm fully busy, that's why I'm awful, not awesome. Remember this. Think of this. Hammer your mind. Let me know what makes me busy. I have 10 thoughts running at the same time. Do I have an intellect to organize all these thoughts and put it in order? Or do I want to remain busy throughout my life? If that is so, we will never find peace and happiness, and one day we will go to permanent home. Existence do not like if you are fully busy. Very clear. Because existence do not like you. So you are not in tune with the world outside. So you are stressed. Again, objective solution? No, not possible of the subjective problem. Uh, Understand it very clearly. because on these basis, the future sessions will come from this teaching of the Gita. To know what is false, to know the objective solution is not there, we need only a common sense. We don't need an IQ. This is what the master says. Only we need to be a thinker. We have to reflect our life. It is inbuilt in us. One example, we can take an example. Phone is an instrument. We need it. Is phone an instrument of peace and happiness? Why you are hooked onto the phone? Why you, when you wake up in the morning, first thing, you don't pay attention to your peace and happiness, you pay attention to, let me know what are the messages that has come. As if you are the most important person in the world. Even the President Biden doesn't look into the phone and messages. Why? Is husband and wife an instrument of peace and happiness? Common sense. Then why I say you are responsible for my stress? Why? Common sense. We need only common sense. So when that common sense is not there, this mind falls into delusion. And it is because of the me word, it is because of the attachment, it is because of, and that is why we are suffering. So again, understand, this mind has created a mantra that makes me busy, confused. I don't look at if there is a fear in my life or not. If there is a confusion in my life, I take the confusion, the fear, and the insecurity for granted. And that is how I develop my mind. I live with that mind which is already full of delusion. And that mind is constantly nagging us with one big mantra. What is that mantra? I want, I want, I want, I want, I want. Constantly, habitual, instinctive. I didn't get this project, I didn't get this, I don't, I have to do this and I have to do this. Why? Why? I know your answer. No, but I have to maintain my life. I have to earn money for my food, shelter, and clothes. No doubt, we cannot survive physically with the food, shelter, and clothes. I'm getting enough. I'm happy with it. So that's why I said no. Let this session be in the name of it. I'm happy with it. So first thing to understand, this I want. Food, shelter, and clothes. Are you not getting it? You are getting it. If not, you work hard, you will get it. But this I want tag, this mantra, mind attaches this I want with the peace, happiness, love, and wisdom from the objects of the world. That is the problem. I want peace, I want happiness. And I forget, if I have this much of money, I will be happy. No. I told you, if I have a big home, does not mean that I have a happy home. Why you attach? Why your mind attaches your peace and happiness with the money that you have or you don't have? So that I want mantra repeats without understanding with reference to the peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. Oh, if I marry Miss Universe, I'll be the happiest person. No, you'll be the craziest person. Or Mr. Universe, whatever you say. We have to separate by common sense. So, where lies the fear and the insecurities and problems in our day to day life? Pay attention and understand it very clear. Wealth, home, clothes, car, phone are the means, not the goals. We make these means as our goals, you are bound to suffer. There is no way you can get out of the suffering. Means smartphone. I have a smartphone and let me use it. Yeah. So when I need it, I should use it. But then what happens? I should continue to be obsessed with the phone in order to secure happiness. And that obsession causes the problem. Honey, you didn't smile, so I thought that now you don't like me. What is this problem? I heard a lot of problems like this. A lot of couple here for my private lessons. I said, What is this?" Did you understand? Step by step, common sense. They are the means. They are only the means. I was living in a humble rented house, then I had another house. I left all the houses. I had 3 or 4 houses in India and I sold everything. Now I'm a trustee of this house where I'm living. Trustee means, my son owns this house. So one person told me, if. I said, there is no if. The next day I will leave that house, I will rent that house. Is there any problem of renting the house? There is no if and but. Why? They are the means, they are not the goals. The moment I keep in my mind that they are the means, 50% of the problem is gone. Then the mind is not searching objective solution of the subjective problem. What are the objective problem? Food, shelter. If we have a similar, common sense, we have a common sense, we work hard, we know our capacities and abilities, we can survive. Did I not survive when I came, when I met with Anne? We met in 2008. I survived. Subjective problem is anxiety, conflict, confusion, fear, insecurity. We cannot remove stress, fear, insecurity having a small home or a big home. Having $1,000 or $1,000,000,000. We cannot remove the loneliness that causes the insecurity. Loneliness is purely subjective. You are married, you are living with your partner, and still you will be lonely. You know that? It's possible. Say yes. Don't lie. Don't lie. You see that subjective problem. I have to take care of this mind. No object contains the step. No object contains the stamp of peace and happiness. Object needs objective solution, and subjective problem demands subjective solutions. Subjective solution means that I have to change this mind, the way it is working. My mind should not work on me, I should work on the mind. How can you say, did you think about it? That how did I say that the mantra the mind has created habitually, instinctively, impulsively, I want, I want, I want, I want. Constantly it is, constantly. I want food, shelter, and cloth. There is no problem. But I want peace, happiness, love, and wisdom from outside. Not possible. 99% of this mind is crazy, lazy, and obsessed because subconsciously it is wanting what it wants, it does not get it. Now, I will not ask here, but think in your mind, do you believe your partner 100%? Or let me rephrase it. Do you believe any partner or friend or son or parents, do you believe 100% that they will remain with you for your peace and happiness? Simple answer is no, because my mind is changing and other people whom we want to depend on for my peace and happiness, they are also changing. Fact is this, there is nothing wrong about it. There is nothing wrong if we admit the truth. My mind is changing and the other person is also changing. So do I respect others are changing? I give a break to the mind. I want, give a break. Then I start contemplating, I want peace and happiness. Let me give a break to the mind. Mind, don't go there. And you will see this mind comes down here and now. But I have to live into that state of awareness all the time, 24/7. The mind has made it a habit, instinctive and impulsive. In that context, I gave you that example of a husband and a wife. The husband was talking about his business failure, and he said, I failed in the business. So let me embrace failure and restart working so that I should succeed. But the mind of a wife was totally obsessed that I failed in this marriage. So when husband said how we should embrace failures, the wife saw husband as a failure, she immediately embraced his wife, her husband. Now did you get it? Because you cannot control the impressions in the mind that can cause anger, hesitation, duality, conflict, fear, and insecurity. Because of those impressions, the mind is prompted to react, to hesitate. You cannot plan to be angry tomorrow at 10 a.m. Something happens, your expectations are not met. Do you see that? So we are talking of those impressions must go. If they go away, then we find that yes, there is a possibility that we can get rid of this problem Keep that understanding. One single line objective solution is not there of subjective problem. But why there is a subjective problem? I want. So I want has two categories. First, physical dependence. I have to depend on physical, even if you are awakened, enlightened. Food, shelter, breath, I need it. And if we have a common sense, we can erase that. Isn't it? But I want peace and happiness from the world, not possible. No, you don't understand. He is my soulmate. I said, that's why you're going to be soulmate. And I have seen that it happened. The more I'm attached, that is the summary. Let us start our journey and then we will continue the discussion. No more discussion. You